studios. Good morning and welcome to another edition of the program Good Morning Salone for this week, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Today now Wednesday, November 20th, 2019. We will bring the program come to you this Wednesday morning. Mina Khadija Bangura.
And me Nasaptiu Kalon. Good morning. Inside the program this morning, member them na parliament don't agree for make but 13 people and begin work na different ministry and institution them, where President Bio pick this BNTM. President Dr. Julius Maada Bio don't say, in government go work with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, for reduce plenty challenge where say picking them to get all over the country. And today, Wednesday, November 20, don't be the 30-year anniversary where the United Nations adopt the Convention on the Right of the Child, and Radio Democracy go look how far the country they now for implementing them within this convention.
Well, this and plenty other story them, then are the program for you, plus the 50-50 group, purposeful production and other organization them don't celebrate the achievements where Asma James don't make na the world, where BBC don't recognize them as one of the 100 most influential women them na the world. And Wakabot Sef, they inside the program for you. Members say they listen to we live on www.radiodemocracy.sl, courtesy of Osiwa and powered by AfriCell. The program na Good Morning Salone. You can see more so send we message on 077 981 981. 077 981 981 na the number for send you message. You self go be part of the program this Wednesday morning.
And inside the program Good Morning Salone now, we dey look at we first issue. The Ministry of Works and Public Assets don't all retreat now both for the ministry and stakeholder them na the road sector for look how they go able to overcome some of the challenge and where the road sector they get. Outside the Director General and Sierra Leone Roads Authority, Amara Kane say one big challenge where they get at the road sector now where the country not get policy for motuka them where they overload. Mange Masari gets more and go now report.
Their support has tremendously improved the capacity and ability of the SLRA in dealing with feeder roads issues nationwide. It is now my pleasure, therefore, to formally declare this two-day rural feeder roads retreat open.
In name, na Peter Bayuku Conte, the Minister of Works and Public Assets, when they launched the retreat nabo for stakeholder them na the road sector. Engineer Amara Kane, na the Director General of the Sierra Leone Roads Authority, begin for talk about the retreat.
They about a number of issues. But key among the issues here, we look at the ownership of the feeder roads in the country, rural feeder roads. We also look at how it is being managed, and we also try to address the financing issues them we surround feeder roads. Now this would they look at. We know say the roads them na the country, na the government of Sierra Leone get them. All the roads them within the country. But then government give we this mandate in an act of parliament, 1992 SLRA Act as amended in 2010, that now we SLRA responsible for the day-to-day management of the roads. Engineer
Amara Kane continue for talk about the feeder roads them where they na the country.
Also the councils them where we will find way. We will not go set up other agencies, but we get a good number of unclassified feeder roads where they around, where by right we're not supposed to work on them. So until we will come in and say, well, then when we don't classify, we don't get the money for even do them 4,152 kilometers where we don't say nationwide. We not concentrate on them one that we not classify it. So that could be one. The other thing, overloading, axle load and overloading. You will find out say big motor then they go on some roads where they're not supposed to go, and when they go load, then timber, then other material there. So then run and then contribute for spoil the road very fast. These are the issues. Then we don't classify as feeder roads within this country. 4,152 kilometers. And then are they classified. But then we have over 3,000 kilometers of community roads there. We will not add it.
But waiting, now the challenge waiting na the road sector, Charles Mambu, now the executive director for Roads for Development, being explained.
Feeder roads, they face a lot of challenges in Sierra Leone. One of the challenges, the money we government and donor then they put inside the low. When you compare to the number of kilometers of roads or feeder roads we get in this country, is extremely very low. So as a result, we roads and really deploy on a massive. The second aspect is the lack of care and community ownership. don't go to all communities in this country because they work on infrastructure. I don't find out and I don't see with evidence that the communities, they're no longer interested in ownership of their community feeder road. We don't see roads the way they don't abandon. We want to car they pass the way they're not the broad. Sometimes even behind the homes they're not the broad. So the community, the local community, they're not the own. They not get ownership.
But how them plan for address the challenge there where they na the road sector, the Minister of Works and Public Assets, Peter Bayoku Conte, been explained.
We have identified strategic interventions which, when accomplished, will enhance their role and operational significance. These include rehabilitation and sustained maintenance of the existing network to maximize their contribution to the socio-economic development of our country. Introduction of modern technology to ensure sustainability. We believe that they will require adequate training for them to have any meaningful impact on road works. Strengthening road infrastructure institutions through restructuring and capacity building. Ensuring that road user fees are irrevocably dedicated to road maintenance and improvement. Ensuring that with effect from 2020, all feeder road operations are properly planned and budgeted based on the use of machinery and polymers and labor-based technologies. All donor funds are channeled through SLRA to prevent the duplication of efforts.
After the retreat, I've been talked to different stakeholders them na the road sector, but waiting them think about the
retreats really they in place and long over. We are the lead agency in road safety, but as I say, only the emphasis now on lead agency. That means now we the lead, so not to do everything. We collaborate with other stakeholders them for ensure say road safety in our salon.
All that area and the road sector end up say then go work stronger one for able for overcome the challenge them so that the country will get good road them for Radio Democracy. Mange Mansaye the report.
We continue with the program Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM 077-981-981. Now the number for send you message and yourself go be part of the program this morning. Or if you watch we now Facebook live broadcast, you can say also drop your comment, ask question on the issues them more they can discuss inside the program this morning. Well, as you heard earlier from one power headline them today. Now Wednesday, November 20th, it be the 30th year anniversary where the United Nations be adopt the Convention on the Rights of the Child. Radio Democracy go look how far the country don't go for implement some panditin them where they inside this convention and how it don't help for improve beginning life in the country. Well, at the studio this morning, I want for welcome Ishmael Beah in a Goodwill Ambassador for the UNICEF. Good morning, Mr. Beah, and welcome to the program Good Morning Salone.
Thank you.
And Sef, we get Usman Jalos, we come out from the Children's Forum Network. As Children's Forum Network now one part the umbrella body them where they for ensure say government do some panditin them, especially with law them where they for protect picking them. Good morning, Usman, and welcome to the program Good Morning Salone.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right. I will start with you, Ishmael Beah. Ishmael Beah na UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, and inside 1991, where the civil war been started na Salone, rebel them been kill Ishmael in mama, in papa, and in two brother them. After that, the rebel them been forced Sam for join them, where it be all 13 years. After 2 years, where the rebel be all Ishmael, it deal with them as part of their team. UNICEF being meet with Ishmael and then be forced for pull him na the rebel and put him na one rehabilitation center inside Freetown. Well, from that time day to now, Ishmael don't they work with UNICEF and SEF it don't they represent Salone. From 1996, where it take part at the United Nations presentation of the Mitchell report on the impact of armed conflict on children. It been talk about the devastating effects them of the war, which it been caused to them and serve some other picking them na Salone. Inside May 2000, na the UN special session on children, it been there na the panel and serve na the same panel. It be get opportunity outside the Secretary General. Usai the first time Secretary General for the UN agency, Kofi Annan Bindi. Well, that's the small background for Ishmael and somebody think them way it don't go through. So it dedicates in life for talk for picking them, we make UNICEF be pick as a Goodwill Ambassador. Good morning one more time, Mr. Beah.
Good morning, thank you.
Today you there this morning as Salone. They join other countries them for celebrate the 30th anniversary where the United Nations be adopt the Convention on the Rights of a Child. This na law where they talk for picking them, where they list on palliating them, especially the rights of the child. With such kind thing we don't go through growing up, how it can like for share your story to other picking them and to the world generally?
Well, one of the thing they want to be one do first while I left Salone, after that experience, they adopt me, my own family in New York. So now there I go school, I go university. After that, I decided I want to write a book about this experience here because maybe if it's to say context not been there in the way where the Peking they don't experience the world, but also for let the world understand how Peking can come up and that experience it if they get the right opportunities, they're able to go school, they're able to live in a safe environment, they're able to get family background, all the things that way they inside the CRC. So after I don't write that book, that I don't gain international fame, I decide to have to represent children around the world. So my role as UNICEF Global Ambassador is to advocate for these rights, you know, so that we can hold governments then accountable all over the world. Now Sierra Leone, you know, adopt this lawyer. They don't put her inside national law. For example, the free education that we'll get in Salone now, it come up under within under CRC sort of law, and also as we move forward, we try for talk to people in our society, particularly parents, teachers, all members of society, for let them respect the law. The law they on paper, not to for say you know the but now the way, now the implementation, nine they being small. Particularly the mindset of the people that wait for respect the law. For example, na Salone so man fi say a fine for beat speaking. You know, corporal punishment is not acceptable according to the CRC. So they try for talk to people and for let them understand say the emotional development of the child is also very, very important. So these are some of the few things.
You make mention of the emotional development of the child. We can't talk about the many young people network them we don't join other young people in the world for form, for help talk for young people them. Talking about the emotions with all what you go through at age 13, the rebel be all you've been joining them during the war, you stay with them for like 2 years. How it take you for go through all the emotional trauma then they as a child will be all 13 years?
Well, I get support from local people there, but this is the reason why we make a talk about emotional well-being of a child. This is very important because if a child not get that foundational element for a lamb himself, how they feel, how he can be an active member of society, not can come up fine, you understand? So because I get all them people then they will be laid that foundation there for me, I'll be able to focus on my studies, I'll be able to know say if I go back in the house, I not go get problem, you know, somebody go in the house where they feed me, where they love me, where they take care of me. I can get space for doing my homework, for dream, and for achieve those dreams. So because of all of these things, I was able to amount to which I don't amount to, you know. For race speaking, not to normal for feeder, for get chop for eat, and you left her. Not to so that's not sufficient.
So
you know.
looking at the transformation from a child soldier to somebody now where they represent Salone picking them internationally in different network and platform them. What kinds of story where you can tell so but Salone picking them when are the actual fact?
Well, you know, I'm not keen left for talk about the war because that's a history now. But waiting are derived from that experience day. One is that children are very resilient, and particularly as Sierra Leoneans, we are very resilient. But also, you know, we work hands on side, or we Salone, we don't get, you know, our image. We still try for revamp it around the world. So I can try for show people and say Salone self get intelligence. There's lots of intelligent and talented people who come out Salone. You know, one of them people in this. So when I go around the world as a writer, I'm a internationally celebrated writer, acclaimed. I can try for show people there. Salone not to problem no more we get solutions as well. We get very intelligent people there. We get very talented people that will come on at this country. So it's kind for showcase that, but also for make the Pekin know say, regardless of your situation, if you work hard and you implement yourself, you can able rise above it.
So looking at you now, you don't get a lot of transformation. Picking they look up to you. Someone go on try for be you say I want be like Ishmael Beah. I mean UNICEF Goodwill ambassador. Which you can focus on? Where you think say with anything in the way you can showcase, it will be a positive change back home to Salone picking them.
Well, where I write my first book, where become New York Times and international bestseller, I've been done decide for form a foundation. So each copy of the book we I sell, I donate about $2-3 inside our foundation day. And for the last 6-7 years, we give scholarship to about 150-200 young people in our salon, from primary school all the way through secondary school. This now before the free education business began. So, and some of those people have graduated university and they are doing other things. So yeah, so this is the contribution that I wanted, because I be one for give the same opportunity where where I be don't get, I be one for pass and down, so that people then self go rise up and become whatever they want to become, So.
All right, in case you just tune in, you listen to the program Good Morning Salone, and the time for my studio clock now 7:49. Today, Wednesday, November 20th, don't be the 30-year anniversary where the United Nations be adopt the Convention on the Rights of the Child. And now the studio this morning, we'll get the Goodwill Ambassador for UNICEF, Ishmael Beah, where dedicate in life for advocate for picking them for ensure say government them implement some and the laws them when they put say for improve on picking them life. Will they continue with the program, and now they come to Usman Jallo where come out now the Children's Forum Network. Children's Forum Network now the umbrella body where they for picking them, and most time then they work with government through the Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs for ensure say they remind government of them promises them when they can make for picking them, and self try for lobby government for let them implement some of the laws them. Good morning one more time, Usman.
Yeah, good morning.
30 years anniversary today where the UN be implement the Convention on the Right of the Child. Looking at Salone and some of the laws them where government don't they work with for backup some of the international treaty there, so owner speaking them looking back 30 years to now, waiting they exactly for talk about the CRC.
Well, actually, after 30 years since 1989, where the UN be come up with this convention, Sierra Leone be able for sign up to this convention in the 19, of course, a year after we the convention come, because it came on 1989. So 1919 Sierra Leone be able to sign the convention, and since that time, different advocates then they go on. Different people and civil society organizations then they try for our best we go able for domesticate and for come back to real local context, because certain things that in the convention will not go be 100% applicable in the Sierra Leonean context, because we know this is Africa. So it left with nations then for go back home and see how best they go able to domesticate them. And Sierra Leone, over 17 to 18 years after they don't sign the convention, they finally, out of so many advocates and so many things then go on, we end up forget the final draft will be go to parliament and end up for become law when I be the Child Rights Act will be up on June 7, 2007. So since June 7, 2007 we start for CCA, okay, now we don't get them as a law, we don't protect speaking them, excluding the aspect of the convention we na international treaty. But now even Sierra Leoneans them we able for say, okay, this is the right of my child and this is. So we already don't get the convention, and the convention don't come down to the Child Rights Act. This Child Rights Act they protect the Child Rights Act, they protect speaking them, and only they protect speaking them in give a way for other laws then for come into existence, like the Sexual Offences Act. We also get a huge role for play in the aspect of picking them, especially in the sexual exploitation and other stuff. So Sierra Leone don't go a way, because we serve the try now. After these 17 to 18 years, we don't get the Child Rights Act, we don't get the Sexual Offences Act, and other laws them where they protect people like the adoption, and different aspects. But Sierra Leone, they take away up, but it's just that we get so many lapses on the implementation of the law, because we get the law already, but how we able for implementing?
You dey talk about the lab system where owners speaking them normally don't they come out, they advocate to different government, then say the laws then they, but the implementation stage can get some challenges. We make every year owner can put a position paper before government say these are some of the things they wanna promise we inside the Child Rights Act and other acts them where they protect we picking them, but we're not able for get access to some of the privileges them where we picking and supposed for enjoy inside them lawyer. How una don't they continue for remind government of them promises there, despite una don't they put position paper before them?
Yeah, like as you mentioned, we not only they put position paper, but we don't engage different media institutions. We don't also, we they under the Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs. We they get a lengthy discussion with the director, a friendly with us, and we get discussion with different staff. Them we don't they make them known even to the honorable minister, and also we can go out. We go out to the colleagues, children in the schools, communities, for remind them, because we get this like something, a responsibility upon every Sierra Leonean, not only the government. The lapses them for how we will able to implement certain aspects of the implementation of the Child Rights Act, not only get for do with the government, but also communities and even the parents them, and even the picking them we get for look at the aspect of their responsibilities also. So as an organization, we don't engage media. The position paper here we don't do, and so many times they look at the protection, the participation, and the promotion of the child in every time we try to put on this position paper based on the theme of that year. Like June 16 also we put a position paper. We just look up to government, and we can still remind in every platform we get the chance. We can also remind government this na law, and we hope say we not try for we not only make them a law years back, but we do this because we get picking in our hearts, and we hope for see what we do. But we still do with advocacy. We go into communities. We get school branches. We get so many platform the way we can use for say our best we can able for.
So looking at from the Terwe Salon adopt this convention, turn them to law and put her into your local way with the carry how they operate, you think say government don't take the right decision and stand for let this convention work in the interest of picking them?
Well, the convention is a very big law, and to the Child Rights Act, the government don't take a stand, but not to 100%. The government is trying, but honestly we get things that we government need for do. The aspect of us getting the Child Rights Act first is an achievement for Sierra Leone, because now we don't know say this law protects picking against corporal punishment, this law protects picking against this and this. But also we they look at them say not only that law where we don't get, but waiting and waiting we they able for get out of the law, how we they able for implement them. We get adoption also nice aspect of protection of the picking. How best the government don't try for see how best they're going for work towards this adoption aspect. The protection, child trafficking, you go teenage pregnancy, they're out there so many. We get, if you go out at night, according to which we big one editor, we see so many picking in our street. So these are all lapses that we government need for coming to. We get governments not gets, or even we get less safe homes for picking them, unless maybe they get for meet with the Don Bosco, the different institutions, then we get safer homes. So this is now one aspect we, even if government get for work towards pulling children that are in the streets for carry them back now, we say for can put them. So all these then lapses the way government get, and we think say government need for amend the way as time they go.
All right, continue for the return of the program, Usman. Let bring you come back, Ishmael, listening to waiting Usman they talk from the Children's Forum Network, and they talk about some of the laws them where the Salone government don't they put together for ensure say them protect picking them. In as much as the laws then they, but for Usman, challenges then still they on the implementation for let them get some of the privileges them within laws they are they talk about. You know, a goodwill ambassador, you don't dedicate your whole life for advocate for picking them. Going back to the international community, how we going to ensure say you bring on board some of the issues them where they affect Salone picking them?
Well, in my capacity, one of the things that I can do, what can any country, I can talk to the Pekin we not the one that we supposed to receive these rights, and we not the one that we really they are the experts in that field, because they can able tell me which they don't receive, where the gaps are, where the lapses are. As they talk, so me say they make mental note, so I go to the international community, I go explain to them how best they go partner with Salone for help promote some of these areas that are lacking. For example, the implementation of some of these child rights acts nationally requires training. For example, we get for train the policeman there for let them understand, say if them fem picking a treat, that picking they get right, then get for afford that picking then can right there. So the international community can help in partnering with people who can do those trainings on the ground. Also, capacity building is very important. You know, in some sectors of government, there is no capacity for certain implementations to take place. For example, the social welfare. How many social workers they will get compared to the issues then we begin in the face. And also, we'll get for land say the child rights it not just apply to Pekin and with the Friton. Or therefore think about Pekin and we know they are so inside Friton, where the up country, where perhaps there are no true agents to understand waiting the Pekin rights. Additionally, for the Pekin itself, as Usman mentioned, so the Pekin itself get for learn about their own rights, so then go demand their own right, and then go respect each other in that process,
Okay.
on the community level as well. Yeah.
Okay, continue for deal with we in case you just tune in. You then listen to the UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador Ishmael Beah, where they are for talk about how it don't represent Salone Pekin them na different international conference and other platform them, and also how it don't help for change the context and bad message with people we don't they get but Salone as today now the 30-year anniversary where the United Nations adopt the Convention on the Rights of a Child, and Salone self be done take this and turn into law in real way, and we serve done the part of this convention. The program we they listen to na Good Morning Salone, and now the time for me studio clock na 8 o'clock, and we they go for a break.
Salone Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile App, you can able for use Salone Link money transfer for send money to anybody like you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office like you not get the account number. Buy Ed Salite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for the boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salone Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go to Salone Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
We continue with the program Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We where they bring the program come to you this Wednesday morning. Mina Khadija Bangora.
And it's up to you, Kalon.
Well, we continue for look at issues then we get for do with the 30th year anniversary where Salone they join other country them at the wall for member the way the United Nations they adopt the Convention of the on the Rights of the Child. Well, yesterday the UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador Ishmael Beah be meet with President Bio na status outside the president be assure UNICEF say in government go continue for work with them for ensure say they reduce some part the plenty challenge them where is say Salone picking them they get. President Bio been talk this way Ishmael Beah be meet with na State House yesterday. Radio Democracy Mohammed Sherif been there and he go now report.
For sake of the 38th anniversary of the Convention of the Child, when on Wednesday, November 20 this year, and serve out the United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador for pikin dem Ishmael Beah go take Salone pikin dem concern at the international community. Member them na UNICEF go update His Excellency the President Dr. Julius Maada Bio on this year's celebration on the Convention of the Child, who said the UNICEF country representative na Salone, Washia Mutaza, been say, then gladly with the step them with this government don't they take for address the plenty challenge them, where he say picking them still they get na the country.
You being an advocate for children, I don't think we need to convince you about what the work that you are already doing for children and the agenda that you are taking forward. But this is just an opportunity with Goodwill Ambassador, who is well known to this country, who also as part of the celebration and our renewed commitment from UNICEF to support this country and taking the leadership and your agenda forward on the achievements that this country has had over the present time and the last few years, making child rights a reality in Sierra Leone.
Ishmael Beah we born Salone and don't leave America for plenty year. Now na UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador for picking them say he go use in position at the international forum them for talk about picking them na Salone, we still they get challenge them.
And I particularly wanted to be here around this time because I know the foundation that you're laying in this country in terms of the human capital development and taking care of our children falls in line with that, particularly to have a country that has a strong foundation for children, not only to feed them but also their psychological, educational initiatives that you've brought to this country is very commendable. Thank you. We still know that there are some challenges, and I also want to applaud you to continue working with UNICEF. I do hope that the commitment between the Sierra Leone government and UNICEF continue. I'm here to thank you and to do hope that this continues and we build this country.
Ikeyon said and gladly with the free quality education and other supports them where he said this government don't they provide for picking them. Inside Iyon talk where they talk to the member here we come out na the United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF. The president Dr. Julius Maada Bio say in government go work with UNICEF for help reduce the plenty challenge them where he say picking them. They get na Salone.
They are the future, lined with our human capital development that we actually said that we should provide the best education we can afford for them, free of charge, so that they will be able to provide better leadership for this country, better people and future. And we are also convinced that if we give them the supportive environment, they can be the productive sector and also help in the development process. So the work that you do definitely support what we are trying to do. I hope that we'll continue to work together to support. There are challenges we know together. We can try to reduce the burden and the worries and the impact on the children in particular. I just want to let you know that we are fully committed. We are ready to celebrate the children, and whatever we can do within our means, we are ready to do it.
President Bio bin end up say, as a way for reduce the challenge them we picking them don't they get na Salone, make it say in government don't give free quality education so that they go able for contribute to national development na Salone. And after this meeting, Ready Democracy been first ask Ishmael Beah, but how he be Goodwill Ambassador.
Well, I've been left Salone inside the 90s, dropped me in America, and then I go to university. Then after that, I began to write book there. So I became a very internationally celebrated writer. So through that fame and acclaimed authorship, I get involved with UNICEF because I've been one for waiting with online and Salone, so let the rest of the world understand how a country can come out of adversity for lay a foundation for the future and all the kind of thing. So particularly the way we take care of the beginning, through the conventions on the rights of the child, international legal standard and all the kind of thing.
And I've been same way so ask Mr. Beah, but in first book where he been write.
The first book I ever write, the name na A Long Way Gone, Memoirs of a Boy Soldier, because we the war been there, so we one part of the beginning we first inside the war, and that make I left Salone and the country. And the second book I write in a novel called Radiance of Tomorrow, and then the last one where they come next year, and the next year they come out, and another novel they call Little Family. I dey try to observe how, as a young person in any African country, how your life can be. I'm very hopeful direction of the country because I feel say in Salone, in me 39 years of living of life, this is not the first time in my life where I will say something good they can. So I make a can be part of this celebration.
Ishmael Beah be end up assure the president and the public for support Salone government for address the plenty challenge them where he say picking them still they get in the country for the Society for Radio Democracy. Mohammed Sharif, the report.
You still listen to the program Good Morning Salone, and today inside the program we dey look at the Convention on the Right of a Child, as today Wednesday November 20 don't be the 30th anniversary where the United Nations adopt this convention, and Salone said we don't take and turn them to law, and we dey talk about how far the country don't go for implementing them within this convention. And as this get for do with picking them, they talk about the right of picking, right to life, survival, protection and participation. We get different picking them within the studio here. We don't talk about within the young forum and network don't they do. And one of these forum na initiative for media development. We don't get support from UNICEF. Also, they don't train picking them on how them for talk about teen them where they hamburg and affect them. And this now because them believe say now picking and self go report on the teen them where they monitor them. Well, within the studio we get Alvian Cisse, we in one of the member of the initiative for media development, and also don't benefit from different training them where UNICEF don't they give to them. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, a little bit about the development in terms of owner initiative for media development for picking them. What number na key focus so far?
Well, the initiative for media development now an organization where they look at the media aspects of picking them. They try for train picking them on how they for report them issues them, because we believe say picking go able reports waiting in the go wetin dey go wrong in life than any other person, because now you they go through some various issues then, because like normally we can just hear it, teenage pregnancy, early marriage, now some of the media houses them, but then issues them they like child neglect, depression, bullying, where picking them they go through, where we know the hearing now the media houses them and some other newspaper where we know they see they report on our newspapers. So if picking them then gets the training for report on issues then where they affect them, I feel say that again a great role where it go play in a picking life for see say government able for implement the CRC as them be mandated for do so.
Okay, talking about the CRC, when at the Convention on the Right of a Child, as an overall view, what will be your assessment so far in terms of Salone on how far governments don't go for implement within this convention?
Well, government they try actually, but then they're not 100% they try, because we get lapses now. For example, the way they enforce the law, because like right now we get the act when at the right of the child we get where then be signed 2007 June 7, and we just see various of lapses, like I don't say, like for example now the act day, the law day, how governments for enforce the laws there are not the problem. You just see say the traffic picking there, you just see picking them in the streets, they sell instead of for go school. So government now in responsibility for all the lawbreakers and the people who are responsible, caretakers of them picking and they were responsible for sending picking and then at school, where instead they send them for go sell. Then again now one lapse where the government they do end in order na the CRC. And also they infringe on the act of the CRC by, for example, again, we get this detention. The CRC, the last resort, if Pekin don't commit crime, the last resort with the CRC provide for government for punish Pekin now for go through detention. But now we just say Pekin and they detain Pekin them even when they not go through any trial. you see pikin dem dey for almost years. Like if you go na dems wey dey na kingdom, you see pikin dem dey there. Some pikin dem no ever go through trial because like we be interview some of them pikin dem dey, and when they explain wetin they go through, you dey feel sorry for them. And that also government for try for see say they aim for implement and enforce their acts there. They not just go sit down and sign some of them and left them. So therefore make sure that they aim for implement, and also therefore ban every form of violence against pikin them. They're not just for sidom, like for example the FGM, now a form of violence against pikin. But then we see say government just limit them to if you 18 years and you give consent, then you can go through the FGM. But then we foresee say government puts a ban to all of the forms of violence against pikin them.
So looking at all in challenge way una not able to identify for say pikin they go through, but yes still government not undertake the supposed action we then supposed for take. How the initiative don't they engage with other pikin network them for bring some of them here to the attention of government?
One, we they educate pikin them. Now you make we they create the platform for train them. We they educate them on their rights, because if pikin them know their rights, then go able for stand up for themselves. Because the UNCRC, United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, make a provision for pikin for send your own complaint. If your country don't ratify the law, don't they try for implement or enforce them, the United Nations make a provision where the pikin will go able to send a complaint. And also apart from educate, we also they talk to stakeholders. We dey go on a tour, we get to media tours them where we can do. We dey go on then tour then we dey go na different office them way responsible, where we don't make a promise for actually protect the rights of pikin and Sierra Leone. We dey go office to office and try for talk to them and see how far they don't go with the Child Act rights.
Okay, continue for day with we na the studio Alvian Cisse, member na initiative for media development. In case you just tune in today, we look at the 30-year anniversary of the United Nations adoption of the Convention on the Rights of a Child, and we get different pikin representative. We don't need do thing them we get for do with pikin them. As we look how far the country don't go for implementing them within this convention. The time for my studio clock now 15 after 8, and now we go for a break.
Better don't come. Now Union Trust Bank again. Union Salone Banco. Union Trust Bank get plenty product and service there for you. You must get what you want to go better. Let me savings account, ide. Current account, ide. Fixed deposit account, ide. Credit facility, ide. All for you. Me and you. Union Trust Bank, na Salone for me and you. Kids future savings account, ide. School fee savings account, ide. Pay advance salary scheme, ide. We branch and they all up at na Salone. Bokono kenema, we dey. Kabala mabogo kakambia, we dey. Jala Freetown don't side, we dey. And my 91, me and you. Union Trust Bank, me and you. Union Trust Bank, Union Trust Bank, na Salone for me and you. Union Salone Banco, Union Trust Banco.
Union Trust Bank, empowering Sierra Leonean businesses.
We continue with the program Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We still look at issues them where they embark picking them as today Salone they join other countries them na the world for celebrate the 30-year anniversary where the United Nations be adopt a convention on the rights of the child. How this particular treaty where Salone been turned to law through the Child Rights Act, where then they use for picking them na salon. Well, quickly, I come back to you, Ishmael Beah, UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador. You don't listen to the picking them, concern them. One of the major highlights them from waiting, it be they explain just now. Now the detention where picking them still they go through, in as much as they get laws them for protect them, but they find out say picking them still they na detention center them, and they're not if some of them not can even appear court or neither get lawyer for represent them. As a Goodwill Ambassador and possibly advocate for picking them, listening to them story they are say is still there upon a salon. Waiting it mean for salon picking them?
Well, first of all, I mean this is not it's not just something if happen to picking them. There is a due process of law any side. Not so for picking them no more, even for adults. You not go hold somebody no more indefinitely. You put hands on side. This is not correct. Now that make I be mentioned before say the way this lawyer, the implementation of it requires training. The service providers, particularly the one then waking, come in contact with the Pikinde, where the Pikinde don't break the law or they don't do something where is against the law. Always the best interest of the child now enforce for car before any other thing. So if you say if you hold Pikin, you put hands on side, we go get other psychological issues. This is actually against the law. So, but some of the policemen they will get, or some of the social worker they will get, they not get it training. They don't understand within the implementation methodology. So this now a very important thing for Liari, because waiting we can do on the international level, on the level of UNICEF and all that thing. Now for Larry train officers, we then go understand how to deal with the Pikine in such situations, so that they not go in jail, because until they don't thief brigade na street, or because they're angry they don't do something, or whatever the condition is, it is not right to have a child in a prison. There are inside the CRC other alternative method and they for deal with Pikin there. You know, even guys for put Pikin inside adult prison, Pikin there not for deal with adult inside the same prison, because this will lead to other problems. You know, so again, it is not perfect in Sierra Leone. It is not perfect anywhere in the way the law is implemented, because the law itself now a living body, and countries change constantly. We have new challenges. And when those challenges happen, there are resolutions that constantly are put into the law, so we were able to handle the situation.
Some of them picking there again, now them parents them can go left them, now the child detention center, then they call them, especially stubborn picking them, we can give problems na the home. It's proper for the parents taking picking go left and such places.
It's not proper. Stubbornness not to it's not a crime. Being stubborn is not a crime. So if you picking stubborn, you know, for crime, go to detention center. But now that make I mean say where Usman have been talk, and where the other one been talk, the other child advocates, is that education is very important in terms of understanding how to implement this law. Not to government no more for put up on paper and sign it. Now the way the society, the community, the parents, even the children, how they deal with this law, how they become sort of the implementers of this law. Now this is where the change will happen, you know, because, you know, for example, I mentioned early on, some man can say, if you beat Peking, the Peking go at you. That's not true, you know, and it's actually against the law. If you talk to Peking nicely, you level with her, you understand what side the Peking in problem they come out with, and bug the Peking will able to talk to you, so you develop the emotional intelligence of the Peking. But if you beat her no more, no, that's the end of it.
You think say the method and day for salon picking them, the how things don't go in terms of training and understanding applicable as a lawyer for let picking and bog you put and on be polite to them and talk to them?
Yes, it's possible. An office salon is, I mean, if we say not possible, we are basically saying that in salon we're not able to coexist peacefully. We are just capable of violence, but that's not true. Even culturally, not also can deal with Bikinde. You know, from the beginning, these are things that have changed over the course of our history. For example, me, I born in Salon, in a small village where I born. Some are not several side themselves. But when I was growing up as a kid, they don't mean they beat me. When something happen, then go tell me story. For teach me the lesson what I don't learn from that thing they what I don't do. They don't go just beat me no more. Then left me. Then, you know, you understand?
Discrimination among picking them and self-violence now one way common na schools them among picking them, and looking at the way how governments they implement some of the law them now they go at a very slow pace. What do you think say government need for do for ensure say them protect the rights of the picking them?
Well, I feel say first of all, I feel say them for involve the Pekin in the decision making process strongly, not just as mouthpieces for let them go come for showcase. Say okay, we'll get Pekin them and this panel there. They don't talk, they don't give their testimony, they left and they. But really, even at the helms of the laws that are made and how, because the Pekin way they suffer from the neglect or the breaking of the law by police or by anything, the beginning they understand waiting at the solutions for the things that needs to be done so that then think they are not going to continue. So one recommendation is to really make sure that there are already initiatives in place, but for letting get a beginning they sit at the table so that then we're able to come up with solutions with the Pekin there for the Pekin there. Right. Instead of just for sort of coming up with solution in isolation, you know, you understand.
All right, in case you just a tune in, that's na Ishmael Beah in a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, and he did at the studio this morning. They share in experience as he don't dedicate in life or advocate for picking them, talk about issues them where they embark picking them all over the world. Now the different platform them where it get now the international community. Ishmael, you are not say go refugees now at the studio, but before you go, let me look at the other part of Ishmael Beah. Apart from advocating for picking them, you also don't they write different books them. Also you did tell your story growing up as a child soldier and some of the things them what you go through during the 11-year civil war in Salone. You lost your parents them, you two brother them and everything. You decide for put them into pen and paper and start for publish some of the books them. Let me look at the one by you famous book them where you title A Boy Soldier. Waiting and waiting they inside this particular book, and if somebody want to forget them, how go able for buy them?
Well, if I don't know if they get the bookstore in a salon, yeah, but you can buy any site on the internet. The reason waiting make I write that story because I've been vexed. So I left salon. The way people them be talk about salon, and the way people them be talk about picking we don't come up and that word. You know, been get the right context. You know, people them be talk about salon like tell like say. One do claim or decide to forfeit. You understand? Because usually when the world learns about a place like Sierra Leone, it's only when we have a problem. Then the media wants to talk, international media is interested. But if we are doing other things that are not a problem, there is no coverage. You understand? So why I write that book, there be one give context, and that context they will give. I'll go back before the war kind of salon, waiting me life been what my life was like, and the way where I can go play football, I learn Shakespeare, I go school. That time in the salon education system is very, very strong. So I give all that context there before I explain what happened inside the world. So it was really a desire to change the narrative.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Ishmael, before you leave, we will go read some message and we don't come for you quickly. And this first one I will take to say thanks Ishmael for advocating for the right of a child all over the world. I am proud of you. I know it's not easy in Africa for adults to hold up the right of a children, but do not relent. Keep engaging our communities.
This one from TJ, now Facebook page. They say, I love Ishmael Beah. I read his book, A Long Way Gone and Radiant of Tomorrow. As a Sierra Leonean, I can relate to those stories. I used to be furious when I had some Western journalists doubting his credibility or stories. Nice to see him again.
Another one here, they say, Mr. Goodwill Ambassador, are you saying nothing has happened in Sierra Leone for and on behalf of children except now?
From Bakar King Conte na Facebook, it is say Boy Soldier was a world-class book. Shout out to you, Ish. You served us good in that book.
Another one, they say, I want to congratulate Goodwill Ambassador representing the children around the world, particularly Sierra Leone, by telling his story shows that Sierra Leone is far above the concept of war.
From Lamin Conte na Facebook, it is say, keep it up, Ishmael. You are an icon.
Okay, this last one we go take. They say, please, Radio D, extend my appreciation to Ishmael for devoting his life in serving children. I want to know about him. 11 years back, I read his book, The Life of a Child Soldier. The story way too emotional to be true, but trust me, the story is telling it all. Wish you all the best.
Moses George na Facebook, they say, Ishmael, can you tell us more about your books and what entails in it? Well, from their messages, then they quickly they come back to Ishmael as you not get enough time again. They're about for left in the studio for let go respond to the messages then, Ishmael.
Una, thank you for the message there. My book there, my first book, as Una don't say, it was about the war, but mostly giving context to the war from the perspective of a Sierra Leonean, because beaucoup tell something in a salon. Foreign journalists then can come for 1 or 2 days, then go write all Timbuktu. Well, they're not sabi. So anyway, so so my desire to be a writer really came from that. For let we tell your own story from your own point of view, so that we can reach all those little nuances about who we are. We're intelligent, we're beautiful, we're strong, we're resilient, and sometimes we have issues, and it's a human thing. All the novels they write, also the second novel, Radiance of Tomorrow, where I write, it was looking at waiting can happen where something bad don't happen, so you born, and you decide for go back to that place there. Can you really live there again? And if you live there, how do you live there? So in answering those questions, I created a lot of characters to answer that question. The last book that will be out next year is called Little Family. It's try for look at waiting now the state of a young person where they come up in any African country nowadays, and it's particularly narrated from the point of view of a young woman, because I feel say so, in most African countries, including Salone, sometimes we not can give agency to the girl picking, really. For let it show intelligence, let it show we say that girl picking is their own person without a man, So this is really a story, because I get picking there, I get 3 picking there, I get 2 girl picking there, 1 boy picking. I don't want to let them go up for say they for habo per man. So this book is really a dedication to them, to show that they are their own person in their own right, irrespective of what any man thinks of it.
All right, thank you very much. That's Ishmael Beah. If you want to know more about in story, what he go through from Tortinia, where rebel them being forcefully joined them to the war, and how UNICEF been rescue and put them in a rehabilitation center na Freetown. How it don't they talk na different United Nations platform them, don't they tell in story, don't they tell Salone story, especially the 11 years civil war. Get some of him books them, you go know more about Ishmael Beah, we na UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador. Thank you very much, Ishmael. We join with this morning as Salone they join other country them for celebrate the 30-year anniversary where the United Nations be adopt a convention on the rights of the child. We hope say we'll continue for the get you anytime you come Salone for talk to picking them, talk to government for let them ensure say they implement some of the laws them within the past for picking them. Thank you very much for coming to the studios.
Thank you.
All right, the program Good Morning Salone, they continue quickly when they take this short commercial break.
GhanaSongs.org. They causing confusion.
But this confuse me, boo. Look where Uncle Nat in Wall Solid. Look him block them with them beat for him, where they save solid, and at the same amount of cement and sand then they use for beat me on. But look what in the happen, me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It like say some kind magic they behind this. You want know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life and extra yield cement where are the use, and that's not Dangote 3x Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement na the highest grade cement in the country. When na 42.5 R grade cement, when no one day come na this country, and na one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall. Where you want your concrete, wall and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret them. You go get Dangote 42.5 R cement na online shop and building material store na the one whole country.
We continue with the program Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. As Salone they join other country them today for remember the 30-year anniversary with the United Nations they adopt the Convention on the Rights of the Child. But after this convention we country them be adopt, Salone government been engaged with picking them inside 2007 for turn this particular law to the Child Rights Act. Well, on the line now, we get the Deputy Minister of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs, as now the ministry where they in charge of picking them. How far they don't go for ensure say they implement some part in them where they inside this particular law. Mohamed Haji Keller, now the Deputy Minister of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs. Good morning, Mr. Keller, and welcome to the program Good Morning Salone.
And good morning to studio guests, and thank you for having me.
All right. Today, now the 30th year anniversary, where the United Nations be adopt the Convention on the Rights of the Child, where now law where they for talk for picking and tap discrimination and safe for end violence. From Salone government, how far una don't go for ensure say una implement some panditin them where they inside the Child Rights Act after the adoption of the Convention on the Rights of the Child?
First of all, I want to say congratulations to all the Picking Salone, both boy Picking and girl Picking, where they don't have for keep the rights, the UN Convention on the Right of the Child alive naturally. I just want to put on point say the Picking naturally together with other Picking all over the world don't really take this fight in terms of children participation forward. And Sierra Leone government right throughout don't be a pioneer in this area. So, for example, you get the Child Rights Act of 2007, where we mirror on the Convention on the Rights of the Child. You will find out the one concrete thing will happen out of this is the creation or, in fact, the development of the Children's Forum Network. We is very clear that with these, the kids are able to articulate their issues, they're able to participate, and they're able to really get the opportunity for develop the skills or get the skills then, where they will lead on their issues and their affairs for the country. The other areas with the Child Rights Act we talk about the right to education, the right to proper care, the right to protection, and all them things. You see, as a government, which we don't do in terms of the free quality education, for make sure say each and every child go to school with free books, free food, at the same time free tuition, and making sure they get a quality learning.
Mr. Minister, apart from the free quality education where una don dey give to Salone picking them, when a part of them rights them, other issues then they where they ambog picking them we make every year June 16 when at the Day of the African Child. Then they talk to una through a position paper. Some of them things they want to put na the position paper now they all get for do with discrimination and self-violence among picking them. How best una as a government don't try for address some of their issues there so waking they inside the picking them position paper?
Well, thank you very much. Now, I mean, you move on to, I just give you education as one. We get the other area, we are the protection of children, we include violence, physical violence, gender and sexual-based violence. So you find out, say, in terms of, say, if we come into governance, we don't work very clearly with stakeholders, civil society, including child-led organizations there, for now put the right policies in place. For example, we just on past 7th of October this year, the president signed passed the Sexual Offences Act into law. We are one of the most comprehensive law now the sub-region when it comes to the protection of children, particularly when it comes to sexual violence and rape. Then also you get other areas, because when you look at the Convention of the Rights of the Child, we get 3 key areas that we also mirror the Child Rights Act. One, now the protection of children. Second, now the participation. And then 3, now the promotion of the well-being of children. Now, I listen to Ishmael Beah and also the other studio guests. They think the way they only talk, but pity them. When it comes to violence, now one thing that we don't kind of say we have a zero tolerance to violence. Now, in terms of the well-being outside the school, we also they come together now for put a very clear framework in place where they put all government MDAs, ministries, and other government departments then accountable to the well-being of children. So now, say for example, the Kingo Hospital, waiting at the responsibility of the Ministry of Health for make sure to safeguard that Bikini in well-being. If it ain't at transport, waiting at the responsibility of the Ministry of Transport or the MDA where they deal with that. So all them things again we get in place. But I can join the beginning for say more needs to be done. And this particular day where they come together for join the rest of the world for celebrating 30 years. Now some of them things there will get for reflection. So not only education.
As you say you they join the picking them for say more need for be done. Listening to the picking them waiting at studio this morning. As you say they listen to them. It surprised you as a Deputy Minister of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs. It surprised you for no say picking them na salon still they go through detention. Na them so na one party detention center them and some of them not can even get lawyer them for represent them na court. You surprised for hearing some of them story here?
Well, I'm not surprised because we know say from time immemorial this they happen as radio. As a child welfare activist and expert myself, together with the minister, Madam Benu Dasama, we don't take necessary steps. And one for now make sure say we decongest the prisons them and remand homes there outside Pekin. For example, Clinton remand home. We don't just do an audit. We don't find out say from Pekin, for example, where they need where remand, they not even give them a very clear charge. From the day where they're not supposed for the day. We just done this recently make a very clear representation to the Chief Justice. Then one concrete aspect that we will do. You're gonna approve school, we didn't get picking and they went and just say we don't get a very clear program for them. But when we don't come, we don't just make sure say all them things we put in place. So child justice now one thing that we take very, very seriously. We are not there yet, but we are working.
So if you say una aware say such things them they happen to Salone picking them. Salone na part of different international treaty them. For example, the Convention on the Rights of the Child, and self we get to your national law where na the Child Rights Act. With all the law there, so you go agree with me say the laws them not they work effectively because some of the things them where the law they try for frown at is still they happen to picking them.
For let the law, we need a very clear systems in place, not so. And what we they do, no point no day for beginning to look at the law one after the other. Now that makes us say that 3 areas there, whether within the Convention on the Rights of the Child, we also have the Child Rights Act of 2007 the top board. When are the protection, the promotion of the well-being of the child, and the participation of the child. Now, when they look at the laws then, yes, of course, one argument they say, they work well because picking them, even after 30 years or since 2007, we will ratify when the Child Rights Act became a law in this country, picking them continue to be abused, picking them continue to be suffer. So what will they do? Now, for now, we try and make sure, say, all outside gas in terms of the systemic gas there, let we close them and at least try and make sure, say, we better the living condition of picking in this country. Yes, of course, the laws may not be implemented in the right way, but we get to look at the systems and we get to make sure, say, the well-being of picking become paramount as part of this government. That is very clear now with manifesto. It's very clear when the president talks to parliament, and we get a very clear policies in place for make sure say we alleviate the suffering of picking in this country.
This morning, the National Commission for Children, Ministry of Social Welfare, with support from UNICEF, they meet na been to Mani as way for mark this 30-year anniversary where the UN be adopt the Convention on the Rights of the Child. Going forward, how na go ensure say after today meeting, usai the Pikin and for tell una some of the issues, then remind una of the promises them where they don't they make to una. How na go ensure say as a ministry, una make the Pikin issues as a priority.
Well, you get to also look at what we don't do things we cannot government. We want that the education where the beginning we don't cry about, where we don't steal in this country for many years. That one they on track now. We put more than 2 million beginning at school as we talk. We also don't just enact the Sexual Offences Act. We also they put in place a very clear national safeguarding framework for beginning, and that one they can with the participation of the children themselves, because we need to listen to them. The good thing is you get the Children's Commission, when are the advocacy arm of the of child-led groups and of course the children of this country. Then they tell you exactly what's in the beginning one, and together with the Children's Forum Network, they don't put quite a lot of things in place. Now, waiting at the government commitments, so the minister will get for now the commitment of everybody, including all ministries, for make sure that when it comes to beginning issues, it's paramount.
Thank you very much. That's now Mohammed Haji Kella, the Deputy Minister of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs. They talk inside that interview. They also they talk about some things them where government don't they do for ensure say they implement some of the law them where they don't pass for the picking them. One pardon law then they na the Child Rights Act today for protect picking them rights. As today, Salone they join other country them for celebrate the 30-year anniversary with the United Nations be adopted Convention on the Rights of the Child.
Okay.
We continue with the program Good Morning Salone.
And inside the program now, we dey look at another issue quickly. As we for celebrate the achievement we Asma James don't make, now the wall where BBC don't recognize them as one of the 100 most influential women them in the world. This make 50-50 group do all one the celebration for celebrate Asma James in achievement we make as founder and first time president for the 50-50 group. Also, Dr. Nimata Majeswoka say this achievement to Asma James get for do for show say all people and particularly women them don't put Salone on the wall map. Kabia be the part of this Enguna report.
This is Asma James. You were born to Alhaji Lahai Ibrahim Kamara and Mrs. Sadia Kamara in Freetown and partly raised in Pujol. You attended the Wallace Johnson Municipal, Cathedral Primary and the Animals Memorial School. You and your 4 siblings were orphaned while you were still a child. The road you traveled was not always an easy one. You were born into a society where dropout rates, teenage pregnancy, and gender-based violations were the order of the day. The path was full of thorns, but your determination to stay in school made you succeed in going all the way. You also witnessed the pain of young girls who had to succumb to forced marriages. It is such violations that motivated you to use your media platform to campaign for girls' reproductive health and education rights.
That na voice of the founder and first-time president for the 50-50 group, Dr. Nimata Majeswoka. Been they read citation where 50-50 group and other organizations them them put together into one ceremony where 50-50 and other partner them being all for honor Asma James. After we BBC, we don't make them for be among the 100 most influential women in the world. 50-50 group be bring different women in the country for celebrate Asma James in achievement and serve Asma James in party them, workmates and family member them been they part of this celebration. Inside this celebration, different people them be talk about some of the things them where they know about Asma James.
My name now Wilbon Showers, and I represent Mr. Abdullah Valley. Way before really elect for the ASO tonight, but you know the ASO also Dr. Fredley, who is also not here. First, I want to say a very big congratulations to you on behalf of IGR. IGR done the work with 98.1 for a while and with you directly, and IGR immensely proud of this recognition.
My name is Alita Ansukata, and I am the president of Power Women 232, one of the organizations that we Asma James Day. Asma is very passionate, determined, and somebody we ready for progress. With all the obstacles and difficulties in the world of the field side day where they work in, she is very determined.
It's Asma na household name. So beaucoup people because na radio in day, but people they sabi voice, they no can see who they be. So they go to no front but they don't know say na the Asma. But this when it starts is Black Tuesday, and when I don't bring account to the point where they even recognize them globally, it make people able to recognize and say, hey, na that woman we get that voice and na that woman we can they talk on the radio, we can they ask their attached questions so people know in the stomach. So na in that day,
Asma not only a holla. But people learn. So it's wicked. Yes. And I don't know how many times they bang me middle net. We then report them on sexual offenses. I say they keep